I'm very glad to be able to wind up this event. It's been fabulously successful, and for a grand finale to our 75th anniversary for the Bulletin, it's a very significant event. And I want to thank all the people that made this possible. And it's, what can I say here? The issue is so fundamental and so profound, and the Bulletin's been at it for 75 years. So those of you who make that possible, you owe a great debt of thanks. Looking forward, we got a new president. Hopefully he's going to get sworn in according to the law. And when he is, we'll be back in business in serious international diplomacy, serious policy on climate change, and the other great challenges of our age: cyber, nuclear, climate, all the rest. So what can I say? But I don't know how that music goes, but I have to tell you it. No, it's I'm talking to everybody, and I'm trying to keep the music off. It's down a little bit. That's good. All right. Anyway, the year ahead, as I see it, is very risk-filled. It's filled because we have tremendous hostility and low diplomatic relations with Russia and China and some other countries, Iran, North Korea. So the Bulletin has a major function here, a major role to play in getting out the information to the people that can make a difference. We have to build that constituency of understanding and awareness of the kind of world we're living in. And at the current time, and I'd say for a while, the folks in Washington are oblivious to the nuclear danger. Thankfully, the climate challenge is getting a lot of attention, a lot of salience. In fact, President-elect Biden has put forward a real commitment and the beginnings of a program to really tackle climate change at the level that we have to do it. And so that's the big plus on climate. I can tell you, as governor of California the last 8 years, California has pioneered any number of climate initiatives. And so we have basically a textbook that can be adopted by the federal government to put in carbon pricing, zero emission vehicles, the renewable electricity, the natural lands kind of sequestration of carbon emissions. There's and then the building efficiency, appliance efficiency, and then working with other countries around the world. We've been isolated the last 4 years out of the Paris Agreement. This is all going to turn around. And on the climate front, I think there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of very good people, and President Biden has really set forth a very positive agenda after these 4 years of wandering around in the desert, literally. So that's all to the good. But still, the Bulletin has to continue its great work in informing people about all the different issues and challenges and successes that we're seeing in the climate field. Now, let me step over to the nuclear. There, we have more of a problem. 90% of these nuclear weapons, as you all know, are operated by Russia and the United States. And a number of them are on hair trigger alert. They're supposed to be fired on warning. That's the doctrine. So if the warning is false, then we have a nuclear war by mistake. That's what Bill Perry calls the nuclear blunder. So, and that's something that the Bulletin has talked about. We talked about it this evening. And we have to keep hammering this because in Washington, they focus on deterrence and wanting to meet every Russian new missile system with a new missile system of our own. And that is just the formula for an unending arms race that ultimately will end in mistake, in catastrophe. And the only way out of that is diplomacy, negotiation, clarity about what the risks are. And many people feel, and many people in Washington, many so-called experts, they feel confident because of this doctrine of deterrence. We have enough weapons that we can scare the Russians into not doing anything. What that misses, of course, is that the weapons may be fired by accident. The software may fail. Who knows what the human error might be, or even cyber interference. It's remote, but it's becoming more and more technologically feasible. And the only way forward is to get better control of command and control, reduce our nuclear weapons, get off of the high tension, which in a situation where we think there might be an attack, we'd have a much harder time handling it if we're going to be at such a level of enmity with Russia and with other countries, China. We don't have the same nuclear problem with them. But this Russia challenge is very real. And it takes, I think, the Bulletin to make a major contribution to keep hammering on the fact that we have to reduce nuclear weapons. We have to discuss with Russia how we do that. And talking to Russia is not a reward. Not talking is a penalty to us and to the whole world. So we have to revivify the very notion that Russia and the United States can talk about nuclear weapons, talk about cyber, talk about all the other geopolitical issues that are there. But even if we can't solve them all, we can certainly dial down the nuclear alert of first use, launch on warning, all of it is now part and parcel of what we have. So that's the point I want to make as my contribution tonight. This is so important. I know people listening are very aware of it, but from my meetings in Washington, I don't think the leaders in Washington are yet getting the point that this dialogue with Russia is absolutely imperative, assuming all the other problems are serious and continue. This is a separable variable, separable item that I think we at the Bulletin can promote, and I certainly want to do that. So let me just thank our sponsors, the contributors, the provocateurs, all the people who want to meet the match. Everyone has contributed so much, and under these tougher circumstances where we're talking on our computers and distance communication, it's not what it is to be together. Hopefully next year we can do that. But nuclear danger waits for no one. So we have to keep it up, keep successful. And the Bulletin, I think you've probably heard many things in the last few hours that ought to give you great confidence that we're primed to move forward and to achieve the full hope and promise that the original founders 75 years ago conceived of when they launched this very important enterprise, Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. With that, I would like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This program, at least my part, has now concluded.